My partner in crime, Manoj Agarwal, is up here to really give you the hyperconvergence in the era of AI. Manoj, over to you, man. Thank you. I'm so sorry I'm late, man, but really appreciate it.
Good.
And it's also a friend of as many years as Neelkant here, and grateful for everything we've done together. Thank you again.
Great stuff. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here and just to see so many of you, many of the friends, many of the people that I also personally invited and you have come here to spend time with us. It really means a lot to us. I'm going to very quickly walk you through, at least in this section that you should know now about DevRev. I'm going to talk more and more about like what we do. And you know what, just the business infrastructure or business software, when you think about it, the way that you run your business, the way that you run your company, the number of tools, number of systems that you require in order to really run your business. And what you see is that the number of tools and systems, I'm talking about whether you are building your product, whether you are operating your product, whether you are, let's say, selling your product, marketing your product, you are supporting your customers and so on. The interactions that is required in order for you to run your business through all of these tools and systems. And we all know that how hard it is to get one thing done. And what I like, there was this tweet a while ago. In fact, it was a LinkedIn post that was there, which I would like to just read it. This is from Johan Westenberg, talking about modern work. You get a message in Slack with a link to the either Google Doc or Confluence Doc or wherever that you keep your documentation to prepare for a meeting on Zoom where you take notes, again, in some documentation where you take it and track project progress on either Jira, Atlassian, or Monday.com or whatever favorite tools that you have, and then update in Trello, and you get to the end of the week, and instead of doing anything, you have just moved bits of information from around in 17 different databases, and each one costs $15 a month per user. Now, this is the reality. I mean, we all deal with it. We actually accept it. I mean, this is the way the life is. And I mean, how do you rethink all of this? And if you close your eyes, in fact, it's not that it's a rocket science. If you close your eyes and you start to think, like, what does it even mean to run a company? And very clearly, the thoughts will come. It's only two things. It's the product that the company has, and it's the customers. That's it. It's only two things that matters for the existence of the company. And then you have people inside the company who are building this product or interacting with the customers or taking care of the customers, serving the customers, and they do work. Work for what? They work for the customers, and they work for the product. I mean, it is as simple as that. So what you see is there are only two things that matters, product and customers, and the people who are doing the work for the product, work for the customers. Now, when you think about work, by the way, this is the work that we put in so many different systems, what you saw right now. But work has these important characteristics. And the characteristic is very simple again, first principle thinking. It starts and it ends, as simple as that. With number of stages that it has, through which that you complete, go from start to end, with some workflows also maybe running on each of these stages. Now, if you have to take an example, you're doing software development. Now, in software development, we put this work in, let's say I'm just going to call out Atlassian Jira. And I may call it Jira ticket, I may call it Jira issues, whatever I want to call it. But work open, it's in the start stage, gets into in development stage to in QA state to in deployment state to resolved, and finally gets closed. Very simple. But the same work, if I'm doing for customer support, I call it something else. I call it, let's say, tickets. I go and put that in a different systems. It could be Zendesk, it could be Salesforce Service Cloud, it could be Freshdesk, it could be some other system that where you go and put it. Also has the stages. It starts, it gets in the queue, somebody's working on it. If there is product escalation, it goes to the product team. Finally comes, you mark it resolved. And then If the customer says, yes, I like, the solution is good, then you go and close it. Turns out salespeople also work. We just call this different. We put it in CRM, and it's called opportunity. Now, opportunity also opens, it gets in the pipeline. You call it like, okay, it gets in the upside, strong upside, and finally commit. And it's which point that you closed as one, sometime also as loss. So that's the way the work is. Now you can just go and expand this definition to all kind of work that we all do in the company. Now, if you start to think about this trifecta of product, customers, and work, and you start to think like, what exactly is DevRev doing? DevRev has two words here, Dev and Rev. I'm sure that you have heard about this. Dev is for development, which is proxy for product. Rev is for revenue, which is proxy for customer. And these are the two things that we are bringing together with the power of AI. I mean, it's like AI, analytics, data, design, what Dheeraj also spoke about. In a system, and now at the highest level also, it is a system of record for product, customers, and all work associated with product and customers. Now, last 10 years, if you just think about the industry, communication, collaboration, voice, video, social, chat, notification, it is table stake. It's just mind-boggling, like any of the existing systems which were built 10 plus years ago, the way that the entire collaboration is done there, and I look at it and it's like, you know what, in Jira, I go and put the comment, I have to run to Slack to really go and start to collaborate with a fellow developer. 2 days later, if somebody else has a question, they'll have to figure out like who is the person that I need to go and find out what exactly they did. 3 months later, a new developer joined, has no clue how you made the decision. Because the collaboration completely is fractured, the information is fractured, it's just kept in so many different systems in there. As opposed to like if they build the system today, probably collaboration will be built in. It's so easy to do that. So that's the second layer, which what we call it, how do you really bring to this modern system of record also the collaboration piece together? All voice, video, social chat, notification. And the third layer that I want to call out, again, because of the technology evolution, and more particularly that what you see in the last few years, is all around machine learning, AI, now generative AI. The question is that people inside the company, they are all doing work. And if the work itself is made intelligent, where machine does most of the work, if it can do it, and whatever work that machine can't do, can it call the human to come and do that work, complete that work? In that sense, machine can act like a co-pilot to the, or human can act like a co-pilot to the machine. How about the other way around? When the humans are doing the work, that machine also acts like a co-pilot by like assisting the person to do their job faster, to find that information faster, to create, let's say, the release notes or a sprint summary, and or maybe writing a report and sending it out to the customers and so on. All of that, that can be done now way faster than what it used to be in the past. So really, the concept of how do you really bring this entire intelligence inside this new modern architecture is that third layer that we call out, the intelligence. Now, what you see is there is a lot of information we are talking about here. It's not just like talking about product, customers, and work, but there's lots of pieces of information in the context of the company that exist. And it's important for you to be able to go and put it in a way that is easy to access, easy to query, easy to even do tons of analytics on top of it, easy to run your business. And we had to rethink this whole thing, which is what we call the knowledge base building. And how do you really build this knowledge base? How do you really visualize all of these informations together? And to talk about that, I actually would like to do the demo to you so that you kind of understand also what we are doing. I would like to call upon on the stage my friend here, the product manager, Prithvi Sharma. Come on. Thank you, sir. So, Prithvi, what are you going to show us? This doesn't work?
This works as well, thank you. I was thinking about the knowledge graph, and we talked about LLMs and AI. Um, it's amazing how these models are built on billions and millions of tokens. And if it has to be built on a software system, it really has to be thought from scratch. And the knowledge graph is all about that. What we are going to talk about today is look at a representation of this living, breathing entity that's bringing all silos of information together on the same knowledge graph. And what you're seeing on the screen is a 2D representation of this knowledge graph, and that's DevRev's own knowledge graph. We have been running on DevRev since day one, more than 3 years now. And all you're going to see today is our data, our knowledge graph that our machine runs on, helps us, co-pilots us, and also assists our customers. What you're seeing on the screen is our DevRev product. And obviously, our product has a lot of capabilities. It has some apps that we sell. You heard about the OneCRM apps. It has some foundational platform capabilities that power all of these apps. And I'll give you some examples of them. So you'll see the Build app, which is our work management and product management application. It does have features like roadmap, sprints, now, next, later, issue management, and so on. And similarly, the support app has features like incident management, support manager experiences, proactive support, etc. And you already see how this is a shared asset, the product that we all used to work on. It's amazing that it was never documented anywhere. And this is the knowledge graph documentation of the product, but it's not limited to just the product.
Prithvi, what you're showing right now, it's just knowledge graph, the way that DevRev uses, the way that the product, capability, features, sub-features that we arrange together.
Absolutely.
And this can be done for any company and with very, very little effort.
Yeah, and AI even creates a draft for you if you don't want to do the work right away. So as we look at this product hierarchy, I want to know if there is more beyond the product, and I'll show you there is some. These were features and sub-features that we were looking at until now, but this also has information that the machine is able to collect and enrich this knowledge graph with over time. So this has some anonymized data, but you'll see something like top customers of any of our capabilities is visible right here without going to yet another tool, ask for access, ask for information, and so on. And it also is able to bring information like who are really the people who build this, who are the top contributors. Some of these engineers are right here in the crowd, and who works on something is not a question you will never ever need to ask anyone else. And I want to now talk about what really is this knowledge graph going to do in terms of its implications. This is good for the human's convenience to get all of this data together, but there is machine advantage to this as well. Imagine all of this information coming together, and we already saw how customer information, support information like tickets, developer work that's happening, and even documentation. It's PRDs, support documentation that we write, even SOPs, or knowledge base articles that we write for help centers. All of it is here right in the same knowledge graph. And you can imagine that the LLM that is greedy for knowledge and wants to help customers has all of that knowledge in the knowledge graph now. And this is inclusive of just records, content, even metrics and analytics that it's able to find on all of these dashboards. This knowledge graph now becomes a stock knowledge graph for DevRev, but is able to find way for customization as well. So Manoj, do you want to talk about how this can be customized for some of our customers?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's just mind-boggling to be able to come and see all of the information that you require when you think about the product is something that is very, very important. How does it really all come together? When I see just the documentation like your PRD, your design document, all your competitive documents, that's something that I can get to it now without really going and asking on the Slack with @channel or @here to get that information right from here, very, very easily. So something that is like really, really powerful. And what you see that metrics, that what we are able to bring it here, this is some stock metrics that we are showing, that something that you can continue to go and expand to really bring more and more here. Yeah, so this is very, really powerful.
Just want to end with saying that this knowledge graph is a convenience to humans, but it's an asset for machines, and that's how really AI native machines or softwares will work. And this is true to DevRev's foundation as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. If you can change to slides. Thank you. So I want to, again, come back to the same screen. So like, what is important? There is product and there is customers and the people who are doing the work. But when we think about customers, the interactions that you have with the customers, and those interactions, that happens over so many different channels of communication. Now, whether it is the phone call that you're doing, whether it is the email, that conversation that you have, whether you have even like WhatsApp call that you have with the customers, chatbots through which that you are talking to the customers, in like more modern interactions, even Slack Connect channels through which that you are communicating with the customers. All of this information, like when you're calling, the customer is calling to you, many of the things, maybe you are able to just resolve it right away. But it doesn't just stop there. So many a times that you have to do work inside the company. Now, the work, you may call that as tickets at this point. Let's see if this works. All right. So customer conversation will lead to sometime, because you have to do more work, tickets in the system. But if it's coming from the sales channel, or customers calling or inquiring or want to do more business with you, you may create opportunity. And today that you put that in the CRM. So that's typically the workflow. Now, you don't really stop there. In most modern technology companies, that you really require a lot of collaboration inside the company to be able to go and solve customers' problem, which simply means that you have to go and interact with the development team, the product team. And this entire cycle, that what you see from left side, right side, where the customer interaction started, to the work that you're doing, the collaborations that you're doing with the rest of the company, and finally, that you have to resolve that and get back to the customers. So really the loop is, you come from the customers, you do the collaboration, and then you have to get back to the customers. And this cycle, if you can reduce, really make it fast, make it really delightful, that's what the core essence that you see, what is needed for what Dheeraj also spoke about, like SaaS 2.0. So can we maybe pick one of those channels from the customers and show the experience? How does like the entire experience looks like in DevRev?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you'll see on my screen once it's shared is actually one sample application. We are trying to show you how a user's natural interaction with applications is. And you will see that this is a mobile app. It's a wallet application. I know there's no dearth of wallet apps in the country, but I have yet another. And we'll interact with this app and see how users really use apps. I'm playing Amit Ji today, as you can see on the screen. So before doing anything on the app, I actually want to know a little bit more about it. I want to know if this wallet app, it plays with my money, is it really safe? What we are seeing on the screen right now, this is a Talk to Us interface that I just launched from the application. This is a DevRev-powered live chat interface that companies like Acme Finance, this mobile application, can use to introduce AI to their mobile applications and thus closer to their customers. And what we are going to do first is actually ask whether my money can really be safe and how to add more to this wallet app. So let me write something like, is my money safe, and how to add money to the wallet.
So that's like two questions you're asking in one.
I know, I did a trick with it. One is really a business-related FAQ, but another is a product question. Let's see if it can answer. Looks like it gave a reasonably decent answer. The first one, and this was done with some minimal knowledge configuration at the backend by the Acme Finance team. And it was able to tell me what to do in the app to really recharge this wallet. So this is without any human intervention. There is the other side of the piece that I'll show you right after. But at this point, it's the AI deflecting L1 conversations as we understand in the support world. And this is happening now with generative AI answers. So obviously now I know how to add money to the wallet. So let's try doing that. I'll go to this wallet recharge section of the app, and I'll try to add, let's say, 500 rupees to this wallet. While I try doing that, it looks like there is some error. Often happens. Something went wrong, and looks like I'll need support yet again. So what I'll do is really resume my chat from earlier. And this time, let's see if we can get hold of a support agent from Acme Finance. Unable to recharge wallet. Yeah, so at this point, I'm expecting that the bot is smart enough to know what it can't do sometimes if there is a technical error and deflect to something else. And looks like I have the option to connect with the team. I'm imagining how this used to be in digital applications earlier when it used to be forms to be filled to raise a ticket. And at this point, the bot has already created a ticket out of my conversation, looking at the context until now. And it has even given me something which I can use to follow up, as well as find this ticket to look at updates. So neither the title nor the description or any other data was filled by me. It's all AI doing that magic.
Wow. So you're saying that all you had to ask, and from there that machine doing most of the work in here, even going and creating the tickets in this case. So what does it look like if I go to Acme Finance right now, the team who is working there, what do they see?
So what we see on the screen now is the support inbox for Acme Finance. It has this one conversation that Amitji did with Acme Finance. And I already see the machine was able to do some things, but then it created a ticket to do more. And let me act as that support agent who can, quickly jump in and come to rescue. If I open this ticket here, there was some information which the customer was seeing, but there is even more information that the machine was able to add to this ticket for internal collaborators and members of Acme Finance. It has a right product part attached to it. It has some customer information, who reported the ticket, who should be a potential owner to solve such a problem, and all of this generated yet again by AI.
Beautiful. Now, how do we really provide relief to this customer?
So I think I can't do that. I need some engineering help here. So what I will do is delegate this to my technical support team. I think my L3 engineer, for example. Doing this would have often required going to yet another system like Jira to log a request to get help. But doing that in DevRev is as simple as linking a developer issue to this ticket. It's happening all within the same system. And looks like in this case, I can even avoid creating a new issue because there was one that the machine was able to recommend and say that there is something going on in the system. It looks like it's related to this ticket. Why don't you link to that?
So what you just did, being a support agent, you are able to go and find out in like maybe tens of thousands of issues that might exist in the product and engineering side just with one click. That, okay, if there are any similar issues that already exist in the system, it's right there.
And without
all
any
you have
previous
to do is
knowledge.
not go and create another issue right there, right?
Solves for a lot of the duplication problems, but a lot of knowledge share problem also. I didn't need to know who was working on this issue, if there was even an issue in the system. And looks like at this point, I have this issue already, but it's only in prioritized. It's related to recharge, so it looks like the team has it in their backlog. They just haven't worked on it yet, and there is some chatter in these discussions as well. Looks like Swit, who is the owner of this issue, wants to get on a call and see if we can do this better.
What I see, in fact, even the interface here, the way that you are communicating, collaborating with an engineer in this case, is all Slack-like. Just it is in the context of the work that you're doing.
That's how modern collaboration should be, isn't it? It's not just text. It can now be audio and video as well. And let's try doing that with Swit real quick. So I'm dialing in Swit. Swit resides in Slovenia. That's yet another of our offices. And thank you, Swit, for joining. For bringing this Slovenia touch to this keynote. So Swit, I know you have been working on or looking at this issue. We haven't really started work on it, but do we know more?
Yeah, at this point, we don't know exactly what is happening. And I would like to ask you, do you maybe know what's the error that the user faced for this?
They didn't share the actual error that they faced, but let me see what I can do.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna do some digging and I'll try to fix it as soon as I can and push it to
All right.
So it's available.
Thank you, Swit. I'll wait for follow-ups from you.
Yeah, thank you, Prithvi.
So, all right, just the interactions, you can see the communication, collaboration, voice, video, social, chat, notifications, all built in the context of the work that you see.
So at this point, and this I'm fast forwarding the development lifecycle a little bit, Swit has been fast forwarding as well. Like you see, has already found a fix for the root cause, and the fix is in deployment as well. And let's see how this really brings another role for the machine. If all of this is really so connected, what does it do in reducing the human work on passing this information along? So at this point, this issue is now already completed, but the full audit trail of what has happened with this issue over time, how it went from open to in progress to in development and in deployment, all of these are stages for me to look at. And it was not just on this record that these updates were happening, but also in the adjoining ticket. And you see, this ticket was moved from open to in progress as soon as an issue was linked to it. But when the developer completed work, it went to awaiting customer response automatically.
Wow. I mean, what you are seeing right now is there are three things: customer conversation to customer tickets. Typically, the conversation that is happening with the customer is in a completely different system. Chatbot, and chatbot company will provide you that interface. Then you get to the ticketing system, that is a completely different system. And then you are getting to the development type side, what's happening, that's a completely different system. And then on top of that, just put the entire collaboration systems, which are also outside, like Slack, Zoom, like many of the collaboration systems that you have to use day to day. All of that you're seeing it completely, this is the concept of hyper-converged, that what you're seeing it inside this system.
Truly brings work, collaboration, and intelligence all in.
And there is a lot of automation here also. The information can transmit all the way from development to, if you want, you choose, to all the way to the customer also.
Yeah, we can see the last piece of that. As the ticket was closed by me, the bot was able to tell the customer also that the ticket originally raised for them is now in progress and then went to closure, nothing needing human intervention.
And that information goes on the mobile phone also.
It does go on the mobile phone as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So if you look at like the conversation that originated from the customer and getting it all the way back for all entire collaboration and solving the problem and so on, but like another thing that we see, these interactions that are not just limited to customers calling directly. Like some of these interfaces are anonymous or many other ways, like the people put the information or feedback on social media. They put it in reviews, like App Store reviews, the Play Store reviews that they do, including community forums. Tons of information that are kept there also. How do you really bring even that as a voice of the customers inside the systems, denoise them to be able to go and get the signals and feed that information back to all the way to the product and engineering team to be able to go and do something meaningful in the end, enhancing the customer experience. As something that we do it because of the time pressure and all that, we will not do the demo, something that we love to come and show you. But the next piece, more things, which is how do you enrich the information from the user, the way that they are using your product in the form of the user sessions, product usage, product usage metrics, including the experience, the way that they are going through with your product. And if you enrich that experience back to the people who are trying to solve or find the root cause analysis, it just enhances and reduces the time to really provide that answer very, very fast. Something that I would like to come and talk about it here. Those are three things here: user sessions, product usage, and experience metrics. Something what we call in DevRev, it's the observability platform. And to talk about that, I would like to invite here the head of observability, Mr. Vimlesh, Gautam.
Thanks,
Good to
Manoj.
see you. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I think I'll use the podium.
So Vimlesh, what do you want to talk about in the observability?
Okay, so we're going to talk about how observability is now powering the entire DevRev platform. And what we plan to bring in through observability is a complete 360-degree view of a customer's behavior, a customer's product usage and the experience insights about that customer through session replays, journey dropout insights, exception metrics, and much more.
So why don't we just dive deep into the product itself?
Sure. Can I have the projection of the laptop? Thanks. So over here, how does this observability product work within DevRev is a simple piece of code that gets embedded inside your mobile application or a web app, and it starts tracking all the micro interactions that are happening on your application by your customers, and it publishes a very interesting data set across the experience metrics that the customer has inside your application. It talks about the product usage. It talks about any exception trends that you see across your application. There are feature usage data and a lot of other demographic details about the devices, networks, and OS versions that the customer uses. And these are not just static views, but it enables you to deep dive and understand very specific metrics. For example, I would like to understand some frustrated user sessions that I see inside my application. I want to deep dive and know which are these customers and why are they impacted. I just click on this metrics and it deep dives and tells me exactly which customers are having a frustrated experience in my application. And let me take an example. I have this particular customer who has experienced an app crash, and I want to know what really went wrong with this customer. I just go inside this customer session, and wow, we bring in the actual session performed by the customer on your application, on his device, so that your teams are able to quickly understand what went wrong with the customer, because you are able to now instantly see an entire replay of the journey of that customer. And not just this replay, but we also bring in some additional context about that customer's environment that enables you to debug the customer issues much faster. For example, details like what device the customer was on, what operating system was the customer using, which network the customer is on. At the same time, other micro interactions such as which network API calls are failing, which events are getting fired, and much more. And not just that, but further insights that we help product teams also understand are areas where their end users are focusing more inside the application, where they are focusing least, which areas are causing user frustrations, and much more. Another key valuable use case that we help product and business teams understand, and which in fact Ramesh also talked about in his last speech, was around user journeys, right? Helping all the product teams also understand about tech issues. So what we have done is, traditional product analytics across organizations that we have seen only provide details about where your customers are dropping out and how many customers have dropped out. It doesn't talk about why they have dropped out. We've actually gone one step ahead and have connected the entire journey of your customers, that we call it as business metrics, back to the tech metrics. So we are able to also help you understand areas where your customers are dropping out and what are the key contributors to those dropouts, or we call them as segments. For example, if I was a product manager, I want to understand why are customers dropping out between the third and the fourth step, I would just go over here, click on the segment, and we just pull out the users who dropped out at that moment in the journey, and I can pull out the replay and understand what went wrong. It makes it extremely easy for product teams, business teams, to even know what they need to fix that would improve the conversion, that would improve the experience and retention for their users.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, to be able to know that, okay, there is a shopping cart, whether that shopping cart all the way to the payment, has it been completed, and if people didn't complete it, what, if at least pure from the technology perspective, there was a reason that why it didn't complete, and bringing that information back to the product development team and going and solving that is like nirvana. I mean, it's so difficult to find all of that information.
Yes, that's true. In fact, we would not like to stop over here, Manoj, but I'd like to go one step ahead of how is observability further helping in addressing the support cases. For example, we just saw a demo from Prithvi, where Prithvi was interacting with the support agent, with Swit, and Swit did ask Prithvi for more context, what was the error, what was the issue, right? Now, in a real life scenario, yes, we do come across these situations where we are asking our customers to share screenshots, to share video recordings, but now with observability being added into DevRev, no more doing that. Within a ticket, you can directly see a sessions tab where the end user session gets automatically linked to the support ticket, so that your engineers have more data, more context to the problems that the customer experienced. So it makes the life of the support agent easier, and issue resolution is much faster now.
Yeah, this is huge. Like when I think about bringing that context back and being able to go and collaborate internally to solve real customer issue.
Yes.
Now, these are like the, let's say, customers, they are reaching out directly to ask for something. There are also machines, a lot of time that they generate events, incident, and so on.
Yes.
And is it possible to really bring the affected or maybe similar kind of screens or session recording that we can bring?
Absolutely. I mean, we just saw an example where a customer reports a problem, but many times customers don't report a problem, right? But the system is intelligent enough to actually come back and tell you how many users have impacted. For example, you have a notification system that instantly tells you about any kind of incidents that get created. For example, I see an incident which a machine has reported where your real customers are getting impacted. So I go into this incident, and we are seeing that this incident has been reported by a Turing bot. The AI agent has reported this incident about an outage, and I can see the number of customers now getting impacted and which regions are these customers coming from who are impacted. And at the same time, the AI has actually created some more insights about that incident. And not just that, but AI also clusters these user sessions together and brings you the relevant sessions so that you have your L3s and L4s are able to instantly look at the tickets for these customers and resolve these issues much faster.
Awesome. I mean, you can see the power here, how it is all the observability. It's just not the usage for the, let's say, the operate people who are just running the cloud, but it's like for every business person or every person that is trying to solve for it.
Yes, Manoj.
Yeah, thank you. What I find, especially India, with 1.4 billion people, and the tech that we bring it out, in front of the people, like what you see is that the diversity of the people, like when you are building an app that has to really cater to most sophisticated users, to the underserved users also in like the rural India. Now, the experience when you think about it, like what might work for the most sophisticated user to a user that not necessarily will be able to understand every interactions the way that you thought about it, is something that is extremely important for you to understand how they use your product. And there is one company that who is doing it, at least when I saw like what they do, the way that they figure it out, the customer experience, and for this end user in rural India, it definitely touched me. I would like to play that video here.
मेरा नाम सुमन श्रीवास्तव है। मैं मुहम्मदाबाद गोना में रहती हूँ और मैं फास्ट फूड बिजनेस के लिए L&T से लोन ली हूँ। L&T फाइनेंस से मुझे एक पासबुक मिला है, उस पर एक QR कोड बना हुआ है, उसी पर मैं स्कैन करके ऑनलाइन पेमेंट कर देती हूँ। उसमें हमको पैसा भरने से बहुत अच्छा रहता है, फ़ायदा भी रहता है। मैं तुरंत पैसा भेजती हूँ, तुरंत मुझको मैसेज मिल जाता है, पता भी चल जाता है कि मतलब इसमें हम पैसा भेज दिए हैं, पहुँच गया है। मुझको भी इसमें काम करने में बहुत आसानी होता है। जो प्लानिटेप है, इसकी वजह से हमको ये जानकारी हो जाती है कि कितना आपका पैसा बाकी है, कितना जमा हुआ है। समय भी इसमें बच जाता है, समय ज़्यादा लगता था, उसमें कहीं जाते थे, पैसा निकालते थे, अपने साथ लेते थे, उसमें हमको रिस्क रहता था। और इसमें रहता है तो इसमें केवल ऑनलाइन पेमेंट हो जाता है, इसमें मेरा समय भी बचत हो जाता है और मुझको कोई चिंता भी नहीं।
To talk about that, I would like to invite the head of mobile and internet banking from L&T Finance, Ayushi Verma, on the stage. It's a beautiful story. Like I know that every time that I talk to you, I learn so much from you, Ayushi. So maybe if you can maybe talk about this Planet app that you have launched, and maybe some of the challenges and how DevRev observability platform is helping you.
Hi everyone. First of all, it's great to be here. Let's talk about organization first. So we are talking about L&T Finance, which has been in this industry for more than 30 years. And today we talk about our customers, where 60% plus of our customers are from rural India. And when I mean rural India, these are our customers. When we thought about launching this app, the first thing which was very clear, how to make it simple, that even a rural or urban customer can get their needs fulfilled. The needs could be from their servicing, collection, or payment needs to even getting a loan or if we would like to, cross-sell or top up a customer. So with that in mind, we launched this app. And very soon we started realizing that we got from the field that, customers in rural India does not really have network. They can't use this application. Honestly, we were not agreeing to it because when we travel today, the India has changed. And that is where we got in touch with Vimlesh and we worked around, we collaborated on this technology. So today, sitting here, I can say which customer is facing what problem, and that is where our tech team behind is working and solving all these issues.
Oh, it's a beautiful story. I mean, just not taking for like a lot of time that I hear, yeah, internet काम नहीं कर रहा होगा.
Exactly.
Most of the time that okay, it's not just internet is not working, and maybe that's the reason why it is not working. And you find out that actually it's not the internet, it's something else that you're finding. Tell me more about like the kind of problems that you're able to discover and you're able to go and solve and so on with this.
See, when we talk about our product, as in this case, this application, it is very important to understand that there are different customer profiles that we are dealing with. We have one on the urban side, which is where our personal loan or home loan customer would fit in. Whereas extreme rural is where a farm or tractor finance customer or a rural lady who is coming in a JLG concept. Even there is a SMA business line which has got business people who are very occupied, busy. They want things very fast and simple. So when we thought about working with different segments, what was clear is not one approach will work for all. And that is where we tried to make our app also with an experience which is different for all our customers. At the same time, using this technology, I can understand which are the customers who are getting crashed somewhere, who are some.
I hope everything is okay. That mic is not
I
working.
think that mic went off.
Maybe we just use this.
Yeah, maybe you can use the podium.
Yeah, I'll use this. So when understanding that different customers need different experiences, this helped us say that which customers are finding freezes or rage, and that is where the entire team works now in this technology to solve their issues. Also, one more important thing, Manoj, that I want to talk about, let's be clear, no customer is coming to us to take a loan. Customer is coming to take a product. Customer is coming for a home or for a two-wheeler or a bike. We have to be seamless in the journey to make it simple, and I don't want customers to remember us. And that's the whole job. How can we make every experience or customer experience that seamless that customer doesn't really have to think about financials? So I think with that approach, this has definitely helped quite a lot.
Like every time that I talk to you, I get goosebumps. And the reason is that you care so much about the customer. And almost like the services that you provide, you want to make it invisible almost for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what more, like Ayushi, like what are the maybe one or two big problems that you are dealing with right now?
I think that you already covered, Manoj, because this was very critical. Even though we think, because any customer-facing application, you don't really get customers coming to you in a queue and telling the problems. So how do we read what they're talking in the social media, their tweets, or what they're talking in the Play Store, App Store, and able to capture that and still provide them the solutions? Because that's the tricky part. And if we can solve all what customers saying can provide the solutions, I think that's the way to go.
Awesome. I will look to partner with you, Ayushi, in this, like do more. Really appreciate you coming and sharing your journey with us. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause for both Vimlesh and Ayushi. When you look at this, there's so much happening in the context of the customers, in the context of all the work, all the collaboration between the product team and the customers. For the first 2 years of DevRev, like we were really focused, making sure that we get the platform right. And when we say the platform right, not really just jump to the solutions right away. And if you got the platform right, and this is like with the 200 people working for 2 years without really going and interacting with any customers, this is something that is not easy thing to go and do. And that's what allowed us to bring the kind of simplicity that we are able to come and bring. And to talk about the platform, I'm going to invite here my partner in crime, another partner in crime, the head of product, Mr. Michael Machado. I know that you'll see the name something else here.
All right. Well, I'm glad he introduced me with my Portuguese name. I'm proud of my Portuguese ancestry, but I'm inspired by India. I'm inspired by all of you, and so maybe I'll go by Doom Machado in order to get a little excitement going on with the crowd here. As he mentioned, we are going to be talking about the One CRM platform, how we put this all together to give you the SaaS 2.0 infrastructure. And this is critical, because if we don't do this right, we're not going to move at the velocity we know enterprises need to actually adopt DevRev for every part of their organization with speed. And it starts with the converged object model. This is your work, as Manoj mentioned. This is your parts, your product, your catalog, and this is your identity of your customers and your people in your organization. Doing that right gave us the opportunity to put an automation engine that drives all of your workflows, a modern data warehousing solution that would give you in-browser analytics, and to wrap that all up in a secure and compliant infrastructure that is trusted by every enterprise in a global way. But we weren't done, because a modern 2.0 SaaS infrastructure needs to be consumer grade and needs to have the best design experience ever. And to be designed first doesn't mean you just have a shiny UI. We need to think about extensibility at the API, at the SDK layer. We need to make sure that extending our application through what we call snap-ins feels lightweight and easy. And then the design goes to collaboration. You saw Prithvi demo how easy it is to collaborate across teams within our application, where you have a home, but as teams move between each other, because we know our work is fluid, they have an easy natural language way to collaborate. Because natural language first is the way we're all going to be interacting with machines and interacting with each other. And AI loves natural language. It eats it up. And we've done the hard work of data engineering. We're not a thin layer into an LLM, but we are scraping and crawling all the data possible within your organization. We're indexing it. We're building you multi-tenant vector databases so you get the best of the ability to query into your knowledge graph. And we know we're not going to just build one LLM that everyone's going to consume. This world is moving too fast. We want to allow you to bring your own LLMs. No one else is doing this in the industry. The idea that you can actually, as your developers, are either leveraging open source technology or leveraging your own contracts with other LLM providers. Bring your LLMs to us, integrate them through our snap-in infrastructure, through our marketplace, and be able to leverage the entirety of the One CRM platform. Because the One CRM platform is how all your teams are going to have a home, whether they're supporting customers, building products, or growing your customer base. And 18 months ago, we launched our support app. And our customers ate it up, because they were excited. They said, this is the first time we've been able to actually get a platform that doesn't just do one thing right. We bring in a modern ticketing platform so you can run your support operations. We bring in the customer engagement platform so you can engage with your customers across any channel. And we think about the observability, the way you can really understand your users, so you can be proactive with them, and you can actually understand them and reduce the amount of churns you have to have with your customer. And so all of your support team is able to leverage the support app to focus on the user. And they're no longer thinking about themselves as just ticket after ticket after ticket and the slog of tickets. They get to collaborate cross-functionally with other teams. You're not throwing things over the wall to Jira and waiting and waiting and waiting. You get this real-time communication between your developers. What the developers' keystrokes do actually impact the ticket, all the way to the point of the customer being able to listen to the heartbeat of what the developers are working on. And if we do this right, you get all new sorts of analytics that you're actually providing your teams and your managers. Your managers get the People 360. They can leverage that for skill-based routing. They can leverage that to optimize their team and their resources and their hours, giving happiness and hours back on the weekends to your support teams. And your support agents start to look a lot like support engineers. We're giving them user 360. We're giving them session 360. And they're using that to debug. They're using that to do root cause analysis. And they're coming to developers, meeting at the product. and saying, we understand the product, we understand the user, and we're going to help you operate more efficiently. Because AI is at the heart of our support app. We believe in a support is going to be driven through AI. It's going to deflect for your customers, give them self-service tools. Customers want self-service. As a last resort, they want to interact with your actual teams. You don't have to build out these giant call centers anymore just to serve your customers. And then we want to be a co-pilot, though. When stuff does get to your agents, it assists them in every step of the way, giving them the right data at the right time, like Prithvi and Vimlesh showed. And then finally, we want to bring all of this information into a fine-tuning loop, so every interaction your support team does makes the model stronger. But we couldn't stop there. We had to build the steel thread between dev and rev. And that's how we invented the product CRM. We move too fast now. It's continuous everything, as Dheeraj mentioned, continuous integration, continuous deployment. We're asking our customers for continuous feedback. And then we say, oh, sorry, it's the wrong sprint. We haven't done the quarterly planning right. We need to bring this all together and give your development teams, whether it's engineers, whether it's product managers, whether it's designers, the right tools to not be so project-centric, to think about outcomes rather than outputs. And then you start to actually see that people are empowered. And your development team, they want to be empowered, right? They want to build with customer centricity in mind. You just have to give them the tools. And if you do that, you'll actually see more productivity. You'll see better decision making. And that's exciting because now they're getting the product 360. Now that they're getting that view into everything that's happening with their product, the key metrics they're focused on, and they're able to leverage that to make smarter decisions. They're able to understand what is our North Star, what are our KPIs, how is our observability tool feeding me real-time data to know that I'm making the right decision and that I'm hitting my success metrics. And all this happens to build to make AI a catalyst within your organization. A catalyst to collect feedback and act on it and understand it and synthesize that feedback in real time. An AI can then be used to prioritize for you, but most importantly, AI connects that feedback loop with your customer. On one platform that understands everything going on with your customer, you can actually make sure that your products get adopted faster, that your learning increases at a rapid pace, and you hit those growth and adoption curves you're looking for. Now there's one more piece though. Right? The trifecta of the one CRM applications that sit on top of the Grow app, or on top of the one CRM platform, is how do we think about the sales and revenue teams? Because we're growing differently now. Right? Gone are the days of these long sales cycles, the Oracle bus showing up at your front door. We have microtransactions. We have app stores. We have freemium models. We have the idea of PLG combined with SLG and these hybrid sort of upsells and incremental sales all the time. And in order to do that well, you can't use a traditional CRM platform. You have to make CRM part of, or you have to make customer success part of every division. And that means you have to bring that customer information. It can't be trapped in one siloed database. And only you can do an ETL into Snowflake and then a long-running job and asking for product analysts to help you out and customer analysts to give you the right information at the right time. If we do that, we're going to build a customer 360 that doesn't stop at the sale point. You understand the first touch point, all the nurtures and nudges you give them along the way, and you bring that through to the entire customer journey, all the way to the point you hopefully never see them churn because you're nurturing them, you're getting health signals, you're getting all these different engagement points with your customer captured into the customer 360 that's built for every department of sales, marketing, CS, and that's how you make a really successful motion because then AI can eat that up. AI doesn't care about your departments. It doesn't want to actually know that you have to feed data from different sources in order to give it more intelligent information. You give AI the right resources, and it will actually engage with your customers in an intelligent way, driving lead conversion, driving adoption within your platform, and we give you that, not only the ability to observe your customers, not the only ability to understand your customers, but actually the ability to engage your customers all through our Plug app. So it's an exciting time to leverage DevRev, to leverage the trifecta of the support CRM, the product CRM, the Grow CRM, the personalized applications built for each one of your users within your organization. And we don't expect this to happen on an easy way. You know, adopting new applications we know are hard. We come with great integrations. These are integrations into events, coming from things like GitHub. These are integrations that drive automations, so you can streamline your business processes on DevRev. But these are also integrations and snap-ins that are actually, we call airdrops, as we mentioned. And these are so easy. With one click, you connect Jira, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Zendesk, all this information into DevRev. And we do this bidirectionally. And we'll show you after this, you can jump into one of our demo booths, we'll show you how easy it is to deploy a ServiceNow integration, to map your attributes to DevRev, to start to formulate your knowledge graph, and start your adoption curve anywhere you want, because bidirectionally will live with you, will coexist with airdrops. We have one amazing customer that I'd love to talk about more with. It's Phenom. They show hyperconvergence really at work. They've already synced 15 million objects with us across what used to be disparate data sources. The ability to understand that data and how that data interacts to get with each other, that was just a blind spot. It was a blind spot for them to have insight across their organizations. And so, Siva, I'd love it if you could come join me up here. Where are you? There you are. The SVP of Engineering at Phenom. And I think our mic broke, so maybe we'll interact here if that's okay. You got a microphone. Phenom's a company I truly respect. Leaders in your space of understanding recruiting, understanding people ops. Maybe we'll start by just tell us a little bit about Phenom, where you are.
Yeah, Phenom is a HR tech company. The only reason why we exist is our purpose. Our purpose is to help 1 billion people on this planet Earth to find the right work. There is no other reason why we exist. We are based out of US, and the entire engineering happens out of India. And when Dheeraj and Manoj were talking about the DevRev, the reason, a lot of me got thinking, and I'm going to talk about how it's going to be useful for us.
That's awesome. You talked about your core values as a product team. We've heard about it, we've talked about our core values as a product team, about what you think about bringing that experience to your customer. I'd love just to maybe if you outline those 3 again. It was so awesome to hear. It's very much shared amongst the 2 organizations.
Yeah, one exciting thing, at Phenom, there are 3 themes that we actually believe in: intelligence, automation, and experience. These 3 things are, we believe, are the future of SaaS companies if you have to really give a world-class customer experience. That's what got us excited when we looked at DevRev, and I think there is synergies there.
Yeah. I'll steal another line from you. You talk about automation, you talk about intelligence, and you talked about the experience. And I think when you put those things together, we talk a lot about, how do we up-level and how do we skill up support agents to think a lot more about support engineering, right? How we actually understand the product, how do they actually pair themselves with support engineers. You have a similar analogy, and I'd love to hear it because I think we should actually adopt it internally at DevRev as well.
Yeah, so if you look at support especially, right, our customers are looking at getting those issues fixed very fast. The number of touches once a customer raises an issue, and the moment it reaches the last person standing, which is the dev, right, the idea is to how quickly you can get to help a customer fix that issue. Yeah. So one of the things that really struck us was if the moment customer raised an issue, and if you have a platform and something like that where the dev can actually prioritize their work and be able to address that immediately, I think helping us reduce the touches is one of the most amazing things.
I love it. We've gone on a great journey connecting your systems right now, and I think we'll be able to deliver on those value propositions between analytics, between our automation engine. What's next? We start with ServiceNow, get your support team, then Jira. Do you look at yourself as trying to converge around DevRev?
Yeah, there are a lot of teams inside Phenom. I'm sure it is there with any SaaS company. The customer-facing team, customer success team, and the engineering teams, and they live on different platforms. And engineering by far the biggest team in general, right? They live on Jira. So for us to be able to converge all these data points, right, between, for example, we use Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Jira, and being able to get that holistic view to a developer, what the customer is going through, the pain, that is the most important thing. And we have seen how we were able to change, understand Phenom, the way Phenom customize their object structures on the Salesforce, and you have been able to use your ADOP technology to be able to sync to DevRev. And now we are also in the process of for service now, right? And if these things work and snap-ins and the airdrop philosophy works for us, the implementation or even professional services, something which I think Dheeraj talked about, it's going to work for us.
I love that. You guys are a product-centric company, a customer-centric company, innovating in a space that needs it as we kind of evolve into intelligent and automation systems. So thank you so much for being a customer. Thank you so much for
I also want to add one point. It made me thinking, right? So we talked about India being services, right? But if you look at, generally, we started with services mindset. And then we all said, no, we need engineering mindset. I'm really talking about the developers, right? Okay, we slowly converted them to engineering mindset. And slowly we started as a country building this product, and product thinking came into picture. Now, how do developers understand business, right? With a clear view to a customer access, these kind of platforms, I think, will foster the business thinking. So all this $10 trillion economy and all those things are possible if you really change the mindset of people, right? And these platforms, probably if they are used in the right direction, and if it gets my developers and all the developer communities think, I think it is not far that we get more and more entrepreneurs from India.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. So as I kind of wrap up and try to summarize what we've all learned today during this product session, starting with Manoj, understanding the data model, how work, product, customer come together to formulate your knowledge graph, how teams start to converge after data convergence to drive collaboration, and how one CRM from a platform perspective powers the one CRM applications that allow you to converge your teams, your data together, and get new ways of operating as a business. We hope to do that all effortlessly. We hope to bring that to all your organizations. And I want to thank you all so much for spending the time to listen to us go through these exercises. But I have one more thing before I jump. It's the AI has a UI, and we call that spacebar, because I think everybody needs a way to interact with your AI agents. And unlike maybe Salesforce Einstein out there, we want to make sure that everybody built in gets our AI Turing bots into our platform. And I've got my partner on the design side, Saloni, here to demo Spacebar for you. This will be in every instance of DevRev. Every user should have Gen AI at their fingertips. And our team has been working tirelessly to make sure that we can actually launch this coming April 1st to every organization to be able to leverage. So you can walk in and immediately have the new interface into your SaaS applications that's natural language first. So, Saloni, I'm a PM. I never got a Salesforce license. It was always too expensive for me, but we're not halfway through a quarter. I'd love to understand what's going on with my sales teams, with my customers, with our pipeline. Is there a way that Spacebar could help me out with that?
I think we can do that with Spacebar. Let's pull it up to start. So you said you want to take a look at how Q1 is going and will go in the future. So let's try that out. I'll just zoom in here to show you what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm asking Spacebar.
It's amazing. So just in natural language, you're querying the knowledge base, the knowledge graph.
Absolutely.
Driving an answer. Oh, wow. Now my heart's racing because I got so many questions I want to ask, and normally I'd have to wait till a Friday meeting, with my sales team just to even get a view into this graph. And you're telling me I can dig even further? Like, Dheeraj, you said something, it's better for new logos, it's better for expansion and retention than it is for new logos. So is there a way to kind of understand our expansion, maybe looking into the best case just through natural language?
Let's see if we can do that. Let me ask.
And I know even in a traditional CRM, you're calling up an admin at this point. You're saying, hey, I've got a new query, I got to run, I got a new visualization. And in natural language now, we're crunching the numbers live.
There we go.
Whew. So these are expansion opportunities. I know they're expansion because I met with Lycra.ai. I like them a lot as a customer, but I got to admit, you get in the mix of things, you start to sort of lose sight of customers as they're going, they're adopting, they're moving well, they're not asking a lot of questions anymore. But can I check out the health scores of these customers or how they're feeling around the adoption curve?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Let me try that out.
And health scoring is one of the hardest things to figure out, right? Because health scores bring in siloed department data and really takes a data warehousing tool to really solve this problem. So I'm curious to see just how fast this thing will run, and wow.
Right, so here, we're pulling in everything from all of the apps that we've talked about so far. We have SLA breaches coming in from support. We have the sentiment analysis coming in from Grow, as well as the feature requests that we have on our build app.
Well, they must be liking it because we've got, we've been serving them well on the support side. We've been getting great CSAT, but I see this boost in the last month. They've got an opportunity on the table, and they're probably asking for a lot. How do we understand more about the real problems they're asking for us to solve?
Like previously, we can probably let Spacebar do the heavy lifting here. We can just ask, what are the feature requests that are blocking Lycra?
Wow. Querying against this, and they could see all of these tickets, giving us an idea of what they're asking for, what their severity is, how can I understand more about this customer. Now, I don't like to build just for one customer, but I do know there's some of these features are things we've been talking about with other people. I think we can spend some time to understand these customers more, understand these problems more, and really dig into it. But is there a way to kind of start to search around to our other customers, start to get an idea of, is this a strong signal or a weak signal going on in our feedback loops?
Yeah, maybe we can see if we have any tickets similar to one of these. I know the ticket 14 was something we spoke about a lot. Let's try that out.
So now you're doing this all in natural language. We're going to be actually reverse clustering, picking one ticket and saying, what other tickets out there are similar to this? Build a cluster that are all similar. Wow. Well, I'm amazed. In design and product, we partner well together. So, we've got a busy week. We've got a lot of customers in town. Maybe Saturday we get together.
Saturday?
Yeah, it's always a Saturday available to us.
Let me try something else out instead. So I'm creating an enhancement on our platform, and there we go. So we have Turing generating the description for us, so we probably don't have to go through this ourselves. We can just let AI do the thing. And here, all I need to do is create a name for it.
So Turing has gone through all these tickets, defined the problem, defined potential solution areas we can think about, even linked it so we could actually use that as a weighted way of understanding its priority amongst our other sprints. Trying to take away the use of Michael over here?
No, I'm just giving you your weekend back.
All right, thank you. Well, this has been amazing. I mean, we're starting to see the power of convergence, right? The idea as a PM, I'm able to understand what's going on in my sales organization. I don't have to wait for us to get together and huddle around what our customer's asking for. The loudest sales rep doesn't win the conversation. The real truth of the data brings it all to the table. And AI is co-piloting us all along the way. Saloni, thank you so much. What else we should learn at the Effortless conference around AI?
So I'm actually very excited to share that just earlier today, we launched Grace for Women in AI. So named after the legendary Grace Hopper. If you can go back to this slide, please. It's named after the legendary Grace Hopper, and its purpose is to put women in a position where they feel empowered to lead in AI and also potentially shape the future of workspaces as well as society in general. So there's a lot that you can find out on our website. And yeah, I would encourage you to get involved, get your friends, family, co-workers involved, and let's step into the future together with Grace. Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that awesome, guys? Give them a round of applause one more time. Thank you,
Manoj.
thank you, Michael. Dhoom Machade or Machado.
Machado.
All right, awesome. You see the entire platform, the way that it is built, bringing really the power, the AI native to the surface in this beautifully built design here. I just want to thank, like this is something that would not have been possible without the 8 different offices that we have worldwide with 350 DevRevelers, with 225 plus interns and the voice from these 5,000 plus PLG customers who have given us the feedback. That's something that we have been incorporating in the product with 15 million lines of code that has been written with 100,000 code merges and I mean, the numbers that just mind-boggling. But I know that this cannot be possible also without really the customers, the partners, and all of you who had been coming and spending time with us to really pull something like this. But then in the end, like, remember that we spoke about the product, customers, and the work that we do in order to run the company. And there is always this necessary and sufficient conditions. And how do you really bring that necessary condition and sufficient condition with something that is more efficient, everything that you do inside your company? That's the thesis that we have. All of our people are using that, the new methodology that Dheeraj launched, and something that we would like to come and bring it to you also, and have more conversation around it. Let us be a partner in this journey with you. I really want to thank you all for making time with us today. Thank you.